Ooh, hello, hello, hello. It's chilly today. It is like -20 Celsius out, and had the heater on all night. There's a reason I had to go into all my printers' firmware and up the minimum temp from -10C to 2, or drop it. All my printers aired out last night. Even with the heater, it dropped down to like 8 Celsius out here. It was chilly. It was chilly. So, yeah. So we'll see how long the stream goes today. We'll see how things go today. How's everyone doing? You got served a Bambu ad when you clicked on the stream. You know what? Thank you, Bambu. That 3 cents will keep me going another day. Thank you very much. I wish you had, after speaking to some of the people digging around in your software, I wish you'd taken some of your advertising budget and gotten better Fiverr programmers. Because, oh my God, apparently it's a convoluted mess in there from the people that have been looking into it. It's sloppy. It's sloppy. How's everyone doing today? Yeah. How's everyone doing? -42C last night for the win. Where are you at, Chris? Are you like in Minnesota or something? Or like really far north? That stupid certificate solution. Yeah. So today's stream is going to be a bit of a grab bag thing. Originally, I was going to work on the CHUBE. For those that don't know, Luke's Lab sent a bunch of cool stuff to upgrade the tool head on the printer we're having issues with, the Seaboard kit. I really like this printer. I don't want to bash Seaboard about it at all, because everything that's had wrong with this printer is not really Seaboard's fault. Because it's like, they don't make controller boards, they don't make hot ends, they don't make motors, they just kind of grab a bunch of stuff, put in the box. So everything on this machine from like here down has been great. I just had so many gremlins in the tool, and you guys know, I did it all live. I just said screw it and rip the whole tool head off, and Luke's Lab sent a whole bunch of stuff. But I know we'll probably end up talking about Bambu a bunch, like we did on the Saturday stream. I might break out the Bambu part into a video and post it public as well. Probably not, because I'll be honest, yes, the video did really good. I don't have fun doing that video. I really don't. It's not fun bashing on a company that's screwing people over. Like, especially because you get a lot of people that get very defensive. I don't know why. The whole, like, stop insulting, or stop, I must defend the $1 million company. I don't know why people do that. Because it's like, literally, bro, I just want them to not screw over consumers and have better business practices. We all win. I don't know why you're complaining, but people complain. So yeah. So we're going to talk about Bambu for a bit, and then I have some other stuff. The VZBot, I finally have a new input shaper tool. So we're going to do some input shaping on that. And then I do have to do some prep work for this guy. And then we'll probably wrap up with some cosplay stuff, because this is the most important piece of the armor, and I have to make sure it's really shiny before we go any further. So I guess we might as well get started with this. How's everyone doing today? Oh, before we get started, as always, every stream we give away a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance to win. The draw will be at the end of stream. That might be 2 p.m. It might be earlier. Depends how cold I am. Right now it's actually warming up. It's 13 Celsius out here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Why is Nomad angry? I don't know. Probably the same reason a lot of people are. Bambu screwing people over. It is what it is. So, again, disclaimer for people misconstruing stuff or taking stuff out of context. I don't hate Bambu. I don't hate Bambu users. If you are somebody who just bought an A1 with the AMS and you just like printing flexi dragons for your kid, and these changes don't affect you, that is great. What we're trying to do is prevent the slippery slope that pretty much all companies that implement these kind of changes end up going down, where things just become more and more restricted and things become more and more locked down. And personally, my viewpoint is a company that has literally built their empire based on open source technology. Bambu Studio is literally, when I first got the first version of it, was Prusa slicer with green paint slapped on it, and the word Prusa replaced with Bambu, so it was by Bambu Research. So their slicer is literally based upon open source code. And then Orca Slicer improved on their slicer and they backported code. So your entire slicing architecture is open source. And you've also, in your original blog post announcing your company and all that, have admitted that you have taken heavy inspiration from Voron and other open source DIY machines when it comes to the architecture of your printer. So Bambu, you have built your empire upon open source. I feel you should give back. And by giving back, my one request, open source API. Simple as that. I really don't care that you keep your firmware locked down. I really don't care. You guys wrote that yourself. No, there is no Clipper in there. There isn't. Okay, for the people that keep saying that it's Clipper, it's not Clipper. Believe me, it's not Clipper. Okay, Clipper can't even run on these machines. Believe me, people have been trying to get Clipper on these machines. But 3D printing on the consumer hobbyist level and your biggest users, that technology was based on open source designs, and you have benefited from open source architecture and software. You should have an open API. Simple as that. There should be honestly, I wish I could say this with all companies. I wish there was a completely open standard, open API standard for communicating with 3D printers. Now, with most companies, other than Bambu, we have the luxury of Octoprint pretty much works with everything. So every Prusa, RepRap firmware-based printer, or Marlin-based printer, you can buy a freaking Raspberry Pi, plug that in, and you have full remote control of that printer. And even Prusa now has their own Prusa Connect software, which is optional. And you can still plug in a freaking Raspberry Pi and still have full control of your own. Okay? And then with Clipper-based machines, you have the Moonraker API, which is an open source API that people can make interfaces for. For those that don't know, Mainsail is not Clipper. Mainsail, Fluid, and even Octoprint. If you got into Clipper early enough, the early days of Clipper, we used Octoprint as the interface. Clipper is the firmware, is like the zeros and ones, and then you have the Moonraker API, and then you have the interface. So there are multiple different plugins and things now that can talk to Clipper through the Moonraker API. That's open source. So it's pretty much just Bambu that is trying to lock down their API access. Really, nobody else is doing this. Yes, there are some other companies, but no one anywhere near the same size. Let's be honest, okay? So where do we start? Let's just start with their new blog post here, and I'm gonna point out some things that I don't like. First things first, Louis Rossmann put out a video. He speaks much faster than me and swears a lot, so I don't think I'm gonna post, like, I've had the video linked, you can find it very easily. But TLDR, first thing I don't like to see, for those that don't know, Bambu has requested that their site be removed from the Wayback Machine. If you don't know what the Wayback Machine is, it's a website that allows you to see previous versions of a website. Bambu has requested that their site not be on the Wayback Machine, and it has been proven already that they are basically gaslighting people by saying things that previous blog posts contradict, but editing those previous blog posts. Okay? So that right there shows malicious intent, that they're trying to hide stuff. If you gotta change something on a previous blog post, that's fine. You could change it. You just have to put a note going, oh, our error, my bad, you know, a my B goes a long way. We should have said this, or we're clarifying, okay? But instead, they just changed the previous blog post and removed it from the Wayback Machine. So you can find it. People have archived this shit, because now people are going through Bambu's stuff with a fine-tooth comb. Like, believe me, they got Rossmann on it, and other people that know a lot more about this stuff than me. And if they're saying the same stuff I'm saying, I feel more confident saying what I'm saying, okay? And yes, Louis Rossmann is a bit of he is grating. He has a grating personality. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what he says is basically true. Okay, so let's pull this up here. So this is their new update inducing new authorization control systems, blah, 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 blah. So updated for Orca Slicers users. So that's gonna be another thing we're gonna talk about, okay? We'll get to it. Starting that, so I'm not gonna go through all the wording. I'm gonna touch on the key points of things that I really don't like seeing here, or things that I'm bringing up. Working closely with our integration partners to ensure smooth integration or migration to the new security framework, our team will provide comprehensive documentation to support and assist any necessary adjustments. Okay. I have spoken to multiple third-party software developers, independent and company. I'm not going to drop names because I don't know, unless they say it publicly, I'm not going to leak DMs. I've spoken to multiple companies as well. Every single person that has tried to work with Bambu, how do I word this? How do I word this a very nice way? I can't. Basically, everyone was told no. Straight up, no. Nobody's getting API access. If you want to talk to a Bambu printer, going forward, you have to go through their Connect app. Nobody's getting an API key, from my understanding. And by the way, Orca Slicer does not like the fact that Bambu is using them as PR in this instance. They keep saying, oh, we're working with Orca Slicer. No, you're not. And the main dev of Orca Slicer is not happy that you're using him as PR in this, because he was basically told, no, you're not working with them. You told him the same thing you told everyone else. You can use our app if you want to talk to the printer. Okay. So Jeff Gerling brought up a really good point, just to compare for those that what this means. Okay. Jeff Gerling, another guy, knows a lot about software and stuff. Imagine if HP said you had to install an application on your computer, and every time you wanted to print a document, you would have to open Word, save the text document, then open the HP app, and then you can upload the file to print on the HP computer. Okay. And that would be the only thing to be allowed to talk to the printer is the HP app. Okay. So for some people, they don't care. Everyone who's running Linux, you can't use a Bambu printer going forward. Or at least you can't use all the features of a Bambu printer because their app isn't Linux compatible right now. So straight up, anyone who is Linux based, you're SOL. Anyone that has particular network security reasons, you might be SOL. So yeah, so straight up that, one second here. Where is, oh, this isn't even the newest blog post. Let me pull up the newest blog post news. This is like the newest one from Spaghetti Monster. So, also, by the way, when people are bringing up legitimate security concerns, Bambu, your wording here, false accusations head on, like you're very confrontational in these, okay? We are trying to bring facts and things we have discovered and concerns forward, and you immediately dismiss them. So first things first, Bambu Lab will remotely disable your printer or brick it. According to Bambu, that is entirely false. However, what does that mean? They will not remotely brick your printer. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They are straight up saying, hey, we will not remotely brick your printer. However, that doesn't mean, let me find it here, that all Bambu printers ship with an encryption certificate that expires 10 years after manufacturing. So what that means, and I'm referencing people here that have dug into this. I'm not a software guy. I'm going off of what people who know software have told me that this is what this does. And here are those certificates. Essentially, if you do not update your Bambu printer at some point in the future, it will brick itself. And by brick itself, it will no longer be able to communicate with anything other than itself. This is the encryption certificate that allows it to commute with Orca Slicer, with everything outside the printer. So every printer from the date of manufacturing from Bambu, according to the certificate and from what I've been told, will essentially has a 10-year lifespan. And at the moment, it doesn't look like there's a way to update it. So the people looking in the code are like, yeah, we don't see any update mechanism. Now, what that means is you would have to be reliant on a firmware update in the future to extend the life of your printer, which means you have to get on the new restricted firmware. Also, this does not limit the concerns we have, because the concerns we have are the loss of functionality. Okay? Define brick it. Bambu Lab will not remotely disable your printer. Cool. But they might go, you are on an older version of the firmware, you can no longer talk to our servers. Our Bambu Studio will no longer talk with it. Bambu Connect will no longer talk with it. So that is the concern. This is extremely legal wording. So they may not brick your printer remotely, but this statement here still leaves them open to neutering functionality of your printer. And again, if you don't install an update, your printer will essentially be in completely standalone mode with SD card functionality only in 10 years. Firmware updates will block your printer's ability to print. Again, very loaded statement, because what does that mean? Well, a firmware update can remove all functionality except for SD card support, which technically doesn't limit its ability to print. They just are removing features. Again, we are concerned about setting up a walled garden and limiting features. You've already trying to remove features that people have with their printer, which is third-party API access. Not completely brick the printer dead stick. We're worried about printers. Also, again, in the terms of service, how do I find the terms of service on their site here? I'm just going to try and find a generic thing here. But essentially, in their terms of service themselves, it says if you do not update your printer, you may lose functionality, essentially. So it still calls out in their terms of service, directly contradicting some of these statements, okay? AMS functionality will be restricted and the use of third-party filament will be disabled, okay? So, hopefully that's good. This, if they come out and say, we will never do this, I will like, okay? Which AMS, by the way? You have the AMS and AMS Lite. Are you referring to both AMSs? Are you referring to future AMS units? Okay. Bambu Lab firmware contains Trojans or backdoors for unauthorized remote control. Cool. What about server side? Okay. This is just the firmware that runs on the printer itself. But the way your whole network is set up, now everything has to go through the cloud. What is going on cloud side? I don't know what's going on cloud side. What's going on cloud side? This is just the firmware. This has nothing to do with the slicer, the Bambu Connect app, or stuff that takes place on your servers, okay? So what's going on with that stuff? That's another thing I'm concerned about. Printers have a time kill switch that disables them after a certain period. Here's a time kill switch that disables functionality, some of the functions of your printer after 10 years of manufacturing, unless it is updated. That is in your current, there it is. So clarify that, please, Bambu. All 3D printers are monitored, duplicated, or stolen. Two things there. All. What about some? Should it be no files? Not all. That's a big, you're leaving a very wide open door there, saying all files. Could be some files. Could be 99.9%. Could be 1%. I don't know. Okay. Also, you are still currently hosting license violating models on MakerWorld that the original creators have requested takedown requests that you have refused to honor. So your site is still hosting stolen and copywritten and licensed models, and you're refusing the original creators takedown requests. You are essentially paying people to use their site because you are rewarding these people who have uploaded these files with points that they can use towards free things. 1 second here. I just got a DM from somebody. Ooh, okay, apparently the cert, I just had an update from one of the software people. The cert is webcam, but still, it's functionality. They are still limiting functionality, certain functionality. With the expired cert, you can still print with SD card, and yeah, so the printer loses some of the ability to communicate externally. So you're still losing functions. So it's still, again, we're more worried about functionality than just straight up bricking the printer. Okay, so yeah, so you're still, you're lying here. Your website has files that are license violating. And when the original creators are asking for you to take them down, you're refusing because in your word, they scaled it like 0.9% or something stupid, or they removed one detail. So it's a completely different model. You're not going to honor the takedown request. Anyways, a subscription will be mandatory to use your printer. Okay, subscription will not be mandatory to use the printer, but additional functions may be behind a paywall. Again, legalese wording, very legalese wording. Okay. Our concern is not that you're going to make us have to pay $10 a month to use the printer. The concern is in the future, you will start charging for features. That is the concern. That is the slippery slope so many companies have gone down with tiered subscription, paywalled, closed, walled ecosystems. Okay, Adobe has done this. Multiple different companies have done this over the years. It's a thing. And you're building the slide right now. Okay. This clarifier stance, outline the facts. Okay, again, I just went through that, so we're going to go that. Set the record straight. Sure. Okay, we received a wide range of feedback. Pretty much everything is negative. In response, we have an optional LAN mode feature for advanced users of the X1, P1, A1, and A1 Mini. Again, they're referring to existing printers. This does not say anything about future printers. So when they put out the next printer, it could be a walled garden gatekeep system. Again. So this is kind of like, hey, if you want to use your farm, hey, person who bought 30 of our printers, if you wish to continue to use your farm software, you have now lost all support. Simple as that, basically. So if you want to stay on developer mode, and by the way, this mode now only exists because we complained. For those that are saying, why are you complaining? The only reason this is even being offered now is because people are complaining, okay? And this still does internet stuff. Because from my understanding, the Bambu Connect app has to talk to a server to function properly. And the truth about our security update. So by the way, multiple people have told me you could do these security updates without having to implement these other changes. And also, if it's about security, why have hobby people who barely do barely do software able to extract the API keys already from your software? Like, if it's about security, why is your security so crap? Why are people already figuring out the keys? Okay. It's not about limiting third-party software. You just did. No third-party software can communicate with the printers directly. Okay. You built your slicer on open source technology, but you want to lock your stuff down. So you are now introducing a wall. Bambu Connect is literally building a wall from the open source to your lockdown printer. Okay. And you are the gatekeeper. Okay? If you want this statement to be true, the API needs to be open sourced. Simple as that. I firmly believe for this statement to be true, you need to have an open, accessible, open source based API to communicate with your printer that anyone can use, and you do not get to pick and choose. Because right now it's looking like you're picking and choosing, and you're choosing nobody. Because every single company and software developer that I've spoken to from multiple different groups, as multiple people, have told me they have been shown the door, essentially. This is beta testing, not a forced update. I believe this is one of the things from the Wayback Machine, where it was like, yeah, we're beta testing it for like a week, and then it's going to be live. And now they've removed that. It's going to be live at a future date thing from the previous blog post, and then they scrubbed it from the Wayback Machine. So this is a bit of gaslighting. This is a bit of gaslighting. Also, it is a forced update because you lose out on security that you need if you don't do it. And if you want to keep using functionality in the future, you gotta have to do it, kinda. About Panda Touch, Big Tree Tech put an extremely large blog post out. I'm gonna pull up here about this. Big Tree. I gotta be so careful on Twitter now because there's so much shit. Okay, so they put out a pretty big blog post about the Panda Touch. So essentially in 2023 at MRF, our technical director had the idea to make an interface for the P1P. If you don't know what the P1P is, it's a printer that doesn't have the fancy touchscreen, okay? So Bambu essentially wanted to make a fancy touchscreen to give them some of the functionality of the X1, okay? It was found that Bambu Labs uses a protocol called MQTT to communicate between Bambu Studio and their printers. If they are saying this is security, this is what they were using. So this is how they built it originally, was using the MQTT protocol. This protocol is secured on LAN and only accessible by services which have been authorized using the access code on the printer. On a Bambu machine, you have to like get an access code to connect stuff over LAN. So this is secure on a LAN network, okay? It offered needed status and control information to implement the touchscreen, and it was already being used by Bambu Studio and some Home Assistant integration already, okay? And print farm software. So this was something being used already. In 2023, they met some C-level executives at Bambu Lab at a trade show in Asia. We enjoyed meeting, interacting. We mentioned our idea and exchanged contact deals. Later on, our CEO contacted them, and it was requested to have the MQTT protocol specification be more official, as it was currently only documented by members of the community. They never made any of this information public. People had to figure this out on their own, okay? Initially, there was some pleasant exchanges, but after a while, the conversation died off, and we've been unable to get a response. We are not a large company. Victory Tech isn't a big company. They mostly do hobby level stuff, right? We do not want to be a bother. Our background is also largely in the open source space, and there is rarely any objection to companies creating upgrades and modifications. Again, if you've been in 3D printing for a while, it's all love fest when it comes to modding. We all love that shit. We all love modding and expanding and accessories, right? We therefore assumed that our request was simply too much trouble for the matter in the grand scheme of things, and that Bambu Lab would not mind, so we proceeded with using the community documented protocol, okay? So essentially, hey, you guys mind if we use this protocol? You're not saying anything? Everyone else is using it. Okay, I guess we're gonna use it. So in 2024, January, they announced the Panda Touch. Roughly a day after announcing it, they were contacted by a Bambu Lab employee to inform us that there is a plan to limit the MQTT communication link at some point in the future. Very suspicious. It is the exact day after they announced the Bambu Panda Touch. Okay. We again were able to engage in some good discussion and asked about whether we could get official access to the protocol, as well as whether there would be more clarity on it and the change that would come into effect. We were informed that at some point in the future, there would be an official API, but otherwise on both points, we were unable to obtain clarity, and eventually we ceased getting responses. Okay, so they got ghosted essentially. Again, we did not take this as ill intent, and we did not want anyone reading this to as either. We simply assumed that perhaps the individuals we were working with were dealing with a high workload. Just to be sure, we also offered a royalty fee per Panda Touch to Bambu Lab. We are a small company, and our sales are not large compared to Bambu Lab. So this fee would not have been much of an impact on their bottom line at all, but we wanted to offer it anyways to show that we were sincere with our efforts about wanting to work with them. Okay. We were in a sticky situation. They had already done pre-orders. So essentially they were like, yeah, we already had the ball rolling. So what do we do? They decided to end up releasing it. Moving forward, we decided to give the users the choice. If they are interested in the product, they could receive it. And if they didn't want, they could cancel it, etc. We continue to listen to the community, develop the Panda Touch. During the year, we made some attempts to reach out to Bambu Lab again, but we're unable to connect. Okay. When we heard the coming firmware update, we again reached out to Bambu Lab using the dev partner email address to request permission to officially integrate the new authentication method into Panda Touch. We are yet to hear from them, but we remain hopeful. In summary, we use the same protocol that was being used by Bambu Studio, Home Assistant, print farms, and other tools. We attempted to make it official, but perhaps we miscommunicated because there was unable to get a response on this. We did our best to ensure the users were aware of the potential need to remain on the firmware version before purchasing the product. Okay. The way forward, according to the latest blog post by Bambu, they plan to include a dev mode in future firmware releases. If our understanding of this mode is correct, it will allow users to use the Panda Touch units when this mode is activated. Of course, it will need to install this firmware and test it. And again, now the firmware is forked. Is this going to be something on all firmwares going forward, or just one revision of the firmware? We don't know. They haven't told us. We would like to thank Bambu for taking this into consideration. One of the primary characters, so they more there, but essentially the gist of it is, hey, they might be making their own drop-in board for a Bambu now. Because at the end of the day, the hardware on there is generic 3D printer hardware. The only special sauce is their controller, their firmware, and really good slicer profiles. So if you rip out the controller and slap a random controller in there and redo the pins, hey, you can run it like on Clipper. So yeah, so essentially it showed that people are trying to work with them, and they're not. And their new API is, it has to go through Bambu Connect. Bambu Connect, you're going to get limited functionality. You're not going to be able to control the printer. You can upload stuff to their Connect app, and the Connect app control the printer. But now you have that app in the way. You can't tell the printer to heat up. You can't change AMS assignments. You have to use their middleware app. And compatibility with that, who knows? So essentially, yeah, camera feed concerns. Our live view service uses peer-to-peer connection, which means streams bring directly your service and your printer only when a direct P2 is probably used going forward. I don't know a lot about that stuff. Bambu Connect is currently in development, designed to be streamlined interface that maintains the convenience of users. So by the way, so this is the new function of how to use, is this a GIF or is this a video? Okay, so anyways, this is the new workflow. It's 37 seconds. So now you have to slice, okay. Then you have to export it, okay, to the Bambu app. And then you could open that up. You could set all your stuff. You can set your colors, and then you can print it instead of just hitting print. Instead of just hitting print, you now have to go through this. Everything has to go through this. So hopefully your computer, oh wait, no, you got Linux, you're SOL. Oh, you got like, we are now limited to what they put in this app. We cannot, software developers cannot make their own app that talks to the printer. Anyone who does software has to go through this, and you're gonna be limited to whatever this app allows you to do, essentially. Don't forget the Bambu Connect app is built on Electron, so it wastes ½ GB of your RAM. There you go. People who know more about software I've been watching people who know more about software than me, because I don't know anything about software, have been digging through the Bambu Connect app, and I haven't heard any good things. Fiverr tier programming was the word thrown around by quite a few people. So yeah, this isn't seamless. This isn't seamless. Seamless would be not having this and just having the freaking print button built into Bambu Studio. Okay, that would be seamless. You've added a middleware app that benefits nobody but you. There is no benefit to the user for this new application. You haven't demonstrated any benefit. You are simply removing features from community developed firmware, community developed third-party integrations, put them in your app, but still restricting stuff, because we're not going to get full functionality still. Okay. Bambu Studio has a network plugin. Yeah, but you still have to go through the app, and you can't control your printers within Bambu Studio. So you're going to always have to deal with this app. It's adding an extra step for no reason. Because again, it's not about security. There are plenty of easy ways to do the security that they need to do to fix their not great network stack that don't do any of this. Every other 3D printing company doesn't have this issue. Why do they got to limit it to implement security? Nobody else has had to deal with this. Prusa doesn't have to deal with this. Yes, I know Prusa Connect, you can't integrate it with Orca Slicer. I don't even know what the rule is with that yet. I haven't even tried. But with a Prusa, you can use Octoprint, so you can get around it, really. Not true. The PR is direct control through the network library. Okay. The keys are done locally on the machine, has been solid and secure. Yeah. So software people are telling me Prusa things are pretty good. So this is the new thing. So instead of just Slicer, Printer, you don't have to go to Slicer through Bambu Connect in LAN mode to the printer, or Bambu Connect cloud mode through Bambu. But by the way, Bambu Connect still has to talk with the server. Like, I'm pretty sure it still has to talk with the server, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's showing here, like, I don't know in LAN mode if it's completely, like, I don't know if you could still run the printer 100% in LAN mode with the new software. I don't know. That's the part that also concerns me. Jailbreak the stock board. You can't jailbreak the stock board. There's really no way to get the bootloader at it, and it's running Spintrol MCUs. Oh yeah, also, if the network's down, you're now relying on the cloud. Speaking of cloud, one of the concerns with a cloud, let me pull it up here. Yeah, so according to the software person that's feeding me info, because I don't know shit about software, Bambu Connect needs an internet connection at least every year. So for anyone running a Bambu printer, in any sort of location where network connectivity is a no-go. So you're running your printer for a business where you're doing prototyping, education, or you just don't want your shit online because you don't trust the cloud because the cloud is another computer. At least once a year to renew the certificate with Bambu Connect in its current form, it has to talk to the home server. So right there, basically kills any use of this printer for anything other than hobby level stuff, in my opinion. I would never use it for business because, again, it's not just your server. You have to worry about what happens when, let me pull it up here, because, hey, guess what just happened today with the cloud service? FlashForge got hacked. We regret to inform you that the Flash Cloud system recently experienced a cyber attack, which resulted in the loss of some user data. The cloud is another person's computer. If you do anything with business, I would just straight up not use these printers because they have to talk to the cloud. Even with their, but previously you didn't. If you have a Bambu right now, X1 like mine, and it's on LAN mode and it's firewalled, you can keep using it like that. But anyone who buys one going forward is going to have the new firmware. Anyone who updates to the new firmware to use Bambu Connect at least once a year is going to talk to a server. What data is being transferred? We don't know. It's closed source. So yeah, so if you got a FlashForge, by the way, you're gonna have to do some stuff here because which resulted in the loss of some user data. I can't wait till one of these services gets hacked and somebody throws up a website and I could search through every single user and see everything they've ever printed. I'm sure some of the 3DP2A folks would really love that database to be online. Wait, no, they want it. Or especially some companies or print farm services. I'm sure they would love that information to be online. We sincerely apologize. So yeah, so that's that. Print farm management software. I've spoken to 2 people. Both of them have told me they weren't getting API keys. So yeah. So TLDR, Bambu, you can fix this very easily. I don't care about your firmware being locked down. I personally don't give a crap. You developed your own firmware, you are allowed to keep it, okay? As long as you didn't hide any open source code in the firmware, which from what I can tell you didn't, you are allowed to keep your firmware locked down. You should have an open source based API though that allows third-party developers and companies to develop accessories and software to communicate with your printers, okay? Because this is something that is now becoming a concern and will affect your sales. Just judging by the sheer amount of comments, the video I put out on Sunday morning has like 900 comments on it, and over a dozen of them are people with print farms going, yeah, no, we're not buying any more Bambus after this. We can't trust them. I can't afford to risk my business on a company changing how their printer behaves based on my current workflow. So please do better, okay? You make a good machine hardware-wise. You have a very good ecosystem. The user experience with Bambu printers is great. Do not get me wrong. They are very good at what they do, but it looks like they're sliding down the slippery slope to having anti-consumer practices, okay? There's already enough right to repair issues with this machine, with Bambu being the sole source of many of the components on this machine. So if Bambu ever folds up, you're not gonna be able to get replacement parts, or if they stop manufacturing replacement parts for your machine, and unless some AliExpress store starts making clones, you're kind of SOL. So you already have those issues with your machine. Don't make software another thing. Just have an open source API, because right now you've made all your money once you sell the machine. Trying to lock it down and restrict user control of the machine itself after it's been sold is just a red flag that you're going to try and limit these features so that you can have some sort of paid service for it later down the line, or something else. Also, pretty much all your statements here refer to existing printer models. I would love to know the plans for your new printer and your company's plans for the future when it comes to future printers. What is the end goal here? Will you come out and say that we will never introduce any paid tier service to your printers in the future? Because that was a major concern in a lot of the videos that I saw, the comments that I saw, and it isn't addressed anywhere in this blog post. The closest thing you have is a subscription will not be mandatory to use your printer. I don't need to pay Canva to use Canva for my shitty thumbnails for my videos, but it's $30 a month if I want to get all the features out of that software. So I'm not being, you know, it's not mandatory to use a lot of services to pay, but if you want to get full functionality, you do have to pay. And your statement here leaves that door wide open. So what is my official stance? Until Bambu has an open source based API and it completely opens the door to third-party accessories and hardware, stuff like Panda Touch, basically anything that wants to talk to these printers from the outside in, until they do that, I will not recommend a Bambu printer to anyone for anti-consumer practices going forward. They have benefited off the backs of open source work and development, both software and hardware on their slicer and their hardware of their printer. Again, you guys have stated multiple times you're heavily inspired by Voron. Okay, this is a Trident, for those that don't know. Build a Trident, by the way. Go build a Voron Trident. Make Steve happy. Go build a Voron Trident. You should build a Voron Trident today. So you have benefited from open source. You have built your empire off the backs of open source community, and now you're pulling the ladder up behind you and telling everyone they're SOL. But you want to keep you've told the Bambu or the Orca Slicer developer they're not getting API keys. If I see you import more Orca Slicer features into Bambu Studio going forward, that's rude. You're being rude. Don't be rude. Be better. Be a better company. That's coming off the shelf today, by the way. That's coming down. I won't be featuring a Bambu printer. I won't recommend a Bambu printer. And if anyone asks me about Bambu printers and my recommendation with them going forward, I'm just going to link the Louis Rossmann video that shows that you're purposely gaslighting people by trying to hide blog posts, and you've removed your blog post from the Wayback Machine to hide the fact that you're rewriting history. And I'm not going to recommend it for anti-consumer practices. And no, you can't kick me off the affiliate program like a bunch of other creators you have. Or at least as far as I know, only MBR has been kicked. No, wait, no, more than one. You can't kick me off the affiliate program if you never joined the affiliate program in the first place. Do better. SOL, shit out of luck. Okay, I'm sorry. By the way, please do not bring politics into this, okay? Please don't bring politics into this. Don't do the CCP. Don't do that shit. If this was any other company from any other country, I would be saying the exact same thing, okay? It has nothing to do. Other companies that we like, LDO, Big Tree Tech, whatever, they're Chinese companies too. I don't give a crap where a company's from. I care about how they operate. And this company is not operating in a way that is, in my opinion, the consumer's best stance. They are acting very anti-consumer. If any other company acts anti-consumer, you call them out. I don't care where they're from. I don't care where a company is from. I don't care. I care about what they're doing. And what Bambu is doing is not good for the user. So call them out. Prusa is an open source. Prusa has locked down the aspects of their operation that prevent one-to-one cloning of their machines. What that means for the user is essentially nothing. You cannot just go and get the Gerbil files for their controller board and clone their controller board. But their firmware is still fully open source. And in their new machines, you have a breakout GPIO board. Is this it? No, that's not it. Where do I have it? I have it on my desk somewhere. They include a breakout GPIO board with addressable pins and freaking CAN bus. Like, Prusa had to lock some stuff down to protect their business because companies like Physek were straight up one-to-one cloning their machines and undercutting them. When you have 1,000 employees, you got to worry about people's paychecks. It's an unfortunate nature of the business, okay? But they're doing their damn best to try and keep as much open as they can, okay? And they're not doing shit like this. So yeah. Yeah, like pretty much the only thing they've locked down Prusa is the schematics to prevent people from one-to-one cloning. You break a part on a Prusa, you have the files to replace the part. It is what it is. So that's pretty much going to be it. If they put out another blog post, I may address it in the future. I'm not going to do any more videos on it. I don't like doing videos on this shit. It's not fun. It's calling out a company for trying to screw over users. There's no benefit here. Can anyone in the chat point out a tangible benefit to everything they've done outside of security? Because we've established they can do the security without locking down the API. There are very common, easy to use open source APIs for this kind of shit. So can anyone actually give me a tangible benefit to what they're doing here other than security? What, Nick? Positron is upside down. There is no tangible benefit outside of simplifying troubleshooting. I mean, judging from what I hear about their customer support, it's kind of a mess already because it's not. It's busy. What do I think about the shareholders? They're not even a publicly traded company as far as I understand. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that rant. I hate doing them. I'm not the greatest at these kind of speaking because here's the thing. I'm not a software guy. I'm basing a lot of what I'm saying off people whose opinions I trust and the research that I can do in trying to understand this shit. If you're on my Discord and you're watching the software people do software shit, you just see GIFs of me going, okay, please in English, because they're like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what English? They're like, oh, this is a security certificate, expires in 10 years. So the machine won't be able to talk outside itself. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but when like I see people who know way more about this stuff, like, you know, Louis Rossman or Jeff Gerling, I can never pronounce it right. That guy, Jeffy G, and other people in the community that know what they're talking about and they're calling out this bullshit. It's like, again, I don't hate Bambu. I'm not a hater. I really, yes, I understand. You bought an A1, you bought the AMS Lite, and you're loving printing your Flexi Dragons. It's great. Welcome to 3D printing. It's an amazing hobby. You can do all kinds of cool shit. I'm building freaking power armor right now. That shit's badass, okay? Look at my shiny codpiece. 3D printing is awesome. Just don't try and screw around your users that have adopted your ecosystem, and now you're trying to, don't be playing The Sims and delete the ladder after people jump in the pool, okay? Just make plastic boat. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna shine my codpiece. Okay. I don't know. I might turn that into a video. I don't know. Was there anything else I should cover? Was there anything else I should cover on that? This is why, Luke, if you're watching, this is why I didn't want to do this, because I did not want to be doing that while trying to show off your cool tool head. Andrew Rogers, $10 for the shiny codpiece fund. Cheers and appreciated. They'll become the HP of 3DP. That's what I'm worried about. Like, here's the thing. I had some issues with them. Don't get me wrong. When they ghosted me pretty much after I caught, like, on a live stream. For those that don't know my history with Bambu, they sent me the X1, the X1C very early on. Like, I got it before it went released. I was gushing over these machines. Like, if you go back and watch my streams with them, I was gushing over these machines. And then one day they sent me a replacement toolhead board, okay? Because the machine they sent me was an original model, right? Oh, we got a revision of the toolhead board, change it out. So what happened was, I was working on something on my desk. This was downstairs in the basement. I had the machine on the shelf, and it was loaded with filament. So I told it to unload the filament. And then I started working, and a couple minutes later, I turn over and there's smoke coming out of the tool head. There's smoke coming out of the tool head. And I'm like, shh, what the fuck? Turn the machine off. Okay, what the heck? I check a bunch of stuff, turn it back on, tell it to retract the filament, right? It's got to heat it up and whatnot. And the temperatures just keep going up. And after like a minute, it's still smoking. If you don't know what thermal runaway is, printers can burn your house down. They have heating elements that can get hot enough to ignite stuff. So most printers, all printers with modern firmwares have what's called thermal runaway protection. If temperatures go outside a range, it causes an error, causes the machine to shut down. Or if the temperature is supposed to rise at a certain rate, that's why you do a PID tune, so it knows the rate of temperature change. If the rate isn't within acceptable parameters, it'll also error out. Most printers, this happens pretty damn close. So what that means is, like, most printers, if you unplug the heater, it'll go to like -9999 or whatever, error out immediately. Other printers, if you pull like the heater out of the hot end and you just leave the thermistor in there and you tell it to heat up, after a couple like 30 seconds, it'll go, oh shit, I'm supposed to be heating up and I'm not heating up, error out. okay? So that protects you if like your heater cartridge falls out or your thermistor falls out, okay? Bambu's response was, our machine is fine. We just had it set for 3 minutes. It wasn't documented anywhere. There was no documentation anywhere that said that it had 3 minutes of thermal before thermal runaway would trip. So I did a test, and I think if I remember correctly on the stream, we let it go for almost like 2 minutes, and it was smoking. This is in my basement. I don't want to burn my freaking house down testing a 3D printer. So I am live. I have people on my audience that are already yelling on a Discord and also tweeting about it, like, holy shit, what's going on here? So I put out a tweet going, holy shit, Bambu. I think I used more colorful language. Why does your machine not have thermal runaway? And then a day later, instead of contacting me or anything, a day later, they put out a blog post saying, I'm wrong, it's 3 minutes, we'll fix it in the future. Don't panic. At that point, I'm like, that's how it's gonna be, eh? That's how it's gonna be. And then MBR does a funny video reviewing the printer in the trunk of his car, and they kick him off the affiliate program. So there's that. Any company that takes criticism and their response to criticism is to close the door doesn't sit well with me. I've called out Bigtree Tech. For those that don't know my history, at one point I was shitting on Bigtree Tech because they had a release of the SKR that had major issues. I was not happy with that, but they fixed it and we're all buddy-buddy now. Take criticism in stride because we want you to make better things. And when it comes to safety, people have, yes, I'm being dramatic here. People have died from 3D printers burning down, okay? You don't want that to happen with one of your machines. We are lucky nobody has burned their house down with a Voron yet. Some people have had some miter fires, unfortunately, but it's a DIY kit, shit happens. But I don't want to see people getting hurt over a fun hobby. So if I think there's a security issue, if I think there's a safety issue, I'm going to be loud about it. Because unfortunately, with today's day and age and the way it is with a lot of companies, and as Bambu has shown in the past, because people have tried to contact Bambu with security issues, and they were basically left unread until they started making noise about it on social media. When a company shows that they only respond to criticism when the criticism is public and loud, unfortunately, you have to be public and loud. And I hate doing that shit. So, yeah. Anyways, Steve Alpha, thank you for the community membership. And Ill Will, thank you for the $5. How's it going? It's going great. I've got my Shemagh on, all nice and warm. I'm actually not nice and warm, it's really cold. So yeah. Oh yeah, the unattended midnight printing. Because again, their network stack didn't have indemnity tokens. So one night, people went, I want to print something, and they sent the file to their printer through the cloud, as you do with a Bambu, and something on their server borked, and it basically buffered up a bunch of prints, and it started printing one after the other or something like that, because they didn't have their network set up correctly. How could you be doing updates in the name of security when basic functionality is borked? Marcel, get the 10 community memberships. Cheers and appreciate it. If you want, again, if you want to help support the channel, the best way to do it is become a channel member, or if you're really awesome like Marcel, you gift community memberships to others. It's the best way to help the channel because every month we do member streams. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm going to try and do a game stream on the Twitch. After Saturday's late night ranting there, I think we're going to play Armored Core. I want to play a giant robot for a bit. So we're going to do Armored Core on the stream tomorrow. But yeah, so Bambu, please do better. Just make a good printer. Go back to your way you were doing things like before you tried to implement this bullshit. Like, seriously, you were the first printer I recommended to multiple people. Now it's like, well, yeah, they make an okay printer, but they'll remove features on you and they're very anti-competitive practices and they'll try and gaslight you. It's like, that doesn't, I don't want to say that. I want to say if you're okay with with a printer that's a little closed down, yeah, buy a Bambu. Otherwise, like, buy a Prusa. Like, or build a Voron, okay? Give me the option to recommend you. Give me the ability to recommend you in good faith. I'm not going to recommend a printer to somebody when I can't guarantee the printer I recommend today will be the same printer a year from now because you've removed features. So, what printer do I recommend? What's your budget? Right now, I keep like an internal list in my head. It's like right now, the entry level, it's like FlashForge Adventure 5M. You know, FlashForge just had a freaking cloud security leak. But I've heard, I know several people that are running FlashForge Adventures, the base model, like the really base model one, the Adventure 5MN Farms, and they're liking them. So that, SVO8, QC issues. I'm not the greatest on Saval, although I think they're sending me the minis, so we'll see how that goes. The latest cheaties, if they fix their issues, the problem I have with a lot of printers is I don't like recommending printers for certain companies for the first revision. It's like, kind of let them cook for like 6 months, then buy it. Because Cheaty had the SSR issue. FL Sun has had issues with like hardware and SSRs and shit. Joel's just like burnt a wire or something the other day. Like, it's... The Cheaties aren't too bad. But like, they're X-Smart line with the last ones they sent me. And they took a while to get right. That's the problem. Test your shit internally. You don't have to release a printer every 6 months. Develop your printer, send it to beta testers, and sit for 6 months and test it. Then release it. Okay, it'll be better if you release a printer that is just good to go the day it releases, instead of like, well, I bought it day of release. 3 months later, they sent me, you know, replacement boards and probes and shit that I had to replace myself. And then after that, they come out with a version 2 that's fine. It's like, nobody wants that. We're past that age of 3D printing. Users don't want to be doing that anymore, especially now that a lot of people are getting into this ecosystem and just make plastic boat. Okay? Like right now, the only printer that I could wholeheartedly say, if you just come at me, going forward, it's going to be, if you ask me what printer I recommend and you don't give me a price, I'm just going to say a Prusa Mark IV. I'm just going to say a Prusa Mark IV. And then once I get my hands on a Core 1 and I try it for a bit, it'll probably be Core 1. Because those are like the only printers that I can go, yeah, they're not going to fuck you around, and they're damn good machines. And I don't have any issues with them. Like, well, I can't recommend the Core 1 because I haven't used a Core 1. Right? If you know me, I don't like recommending stuff unless I personally have used it or people that I trust have responded good to it. So. Anchormate M5. I like more than one button on my 3D printer. And again, cloud. Any printer, I do not like cloud being a requirement. I don't mind cloud being an option. The Prusas have Prusa Connect. But if I wanted to, I can run this shit completely local with Prusa Link, or I can use Octoprint. Okay? I don't have to use the cloud. Cloud should never be mandatory for any function of a 3D printer, in my opinion. Okay? Cloud should never be mandatory. It's okay to be an option. I have no problem with it being an option, as long as you have proper security and shit. But it should never be mandatory to use your printer. Okay? Now, yes, I understand at a certain point with like business sales and certain it does make sense at a certain point, but I'm talking generic consumer level printers here for a lot of, and also a lot of my statements here are towards off-the-shelf printers. The video I did, I had that little chart at the front that said, you know, how to make a bad printer, and then you make a good printer by not making a bad printer. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, Voron, you do. I'm like, I didn't say it in the video, but the chart is referring to consumer off-the-shelf machines, COTS, consumer off-the-shelf, not kit printers. Kit printers are a completely different beast, and unless you tell me you want to buy a kit printer, I will not recommend a kit printer. So, I need a drink. Buy gamer subs, use code Canuck, save 10%. Buy some Bowberry, it's very good. Okay, so let's check chat. Let's check chat. I have 700 people here. Oh my god, what? I didn't even check my stats yet all stream. I've been talking, looking at a screen with like chat to the side. Hi everybody. If you're new, subscribe. Your name will pop up here and you can get a dopamine response from me like doing this or whatever the GIF is. Yeah, okay. Don't forget to like the smash button. And if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, join the Discord, buy something with the affiliate links. I don't know. Whatever. Bao mentioned, let's go. I don't know. I met Bao at Open Sauce. I didn't talk to her. It was like hi kind of thing. Like, oh, hi kind of thing. I was wondering who it was. And somebody's like, that's Bao the Whale. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, am I supposed to see what she looks like because she's a VTuber? Am I not supposed to know what she looks like? My rants are popular. I don't like doing the rants. Smoothie. Oh, the joke was just like, the other day I was like, I'm talking to a few people. I'm trying to push for an industry standard One of the things this came up the other night, and I'm like, I wish this was a thing, and I'm going to start trying to make it a thing with my limited ability to just poke at people and be like, hey, make this a thing, because I know I can't. I want there to be an open API standard with 3D printers for integration of this stuff. I want there to be an open API standard for 3D printers to communicate. Printers from Bambu, printers from Prusa, printers from CHUBE, printers from Creality, RepRap firmware, Marlin firmware, Clipper firmware. I don't care what you base it on. If you like use the bones of like Moonraker as it, I don't care. I really wish there was just an open standard for 3D printer for just uploading files and controlling the printer and monitoring. Upload file, monitor printer, camera, temperatures, control printer. And a console. Give me a freaking console. The fact Bambu doesn't have a console annoys the hell out of me. But I wish there was an industry standard for that shit. Because if there was a standard industry standard that anyone could just grab the library off GitHub. I don't know how to use GitHub, but I'm assuming people who work at companies know how to use GitHub. And just throw it in their printer and boom, it's compatible. I wish. That is something I wish. Basically, Octoprint. The thing with Octoprint is you need a Raspberry Pi. And the problem is, Octoprint pretty much works with everything. Octoprint is the standard. Except for these guys. Every other printer, by the way, even Clipper. You could run Clipper on Octoprint. The very first Clipper interface was Octoprint. So Clipper is Octoprint compatible. Pretty much all printers, except for Bambu machines, can use Octoprint. So there's your open standard. We just need to get these guys on board. But I don't think that's happening. And honestly, I wish you didn't need the Raspberry Pi for a lot of these machines too. Like nowadays with printers having 32-bit controllers in them and a lot of them having Wi-Fi chips now, it would be nice if something could be on the machine itself. Kind of like Prusa is all, they don't need a Raspberry Pi for Prusa Link, for example. So. Okay, what are we gonna do now? We gotta do some input shaping. We got to do some input shaping. Have you heard the rumor about Big Tree Tech going to make? It's not a rumor. They said they're going to. Well, I don't know how we are going to is going to be like, but Big Tree Tech has said that's something they're looking into now. So we'll see. So speaking of Big Tree Tech, my ADXL, I had a Provoke ADXL thing. It broke on me. It just stopped working. I think the actual accelerometer broke. So I actually went and bought one of these. This is the Big Tree Tech ADXL V2. I've never used it before. It showed up this morning. I paid for it with my own money on Amazon. And we're going to try and do that with the input shaping on the EasyBot, because we've got to do that now. So, yeah. So, BTT. Let me pull it up here. BTT ADXL V2. It's cold. I was coming out here and I'm like, I'm gonna put my schmog on. I'm gonna get my schmog on, be all nice and warm. Quite user friendly. Won't be true. Make a tool headboard as well. Well, that's the thing. If you wanted to make a third-party board for Bambu, if you wanted to replace the controller on a Bambu, Bambu uses H-bridge for the motors. They don't use drivers like TMCs or even like A9488s or whatever the hell they are. They don't use those ones. They use H-bridge to control the motors. Okay, I don't know if Clipper has native control for that or the ability to, like, Clipper could, this is running Clipper and this has clear path servos. So Clipper could talk to non-normal drivers, but I don't know if they have H-bridge support. And also the MCUs on Bambu machines are Spintrol MCUs. Same thing DJI uses. And there, I don't think you can easily, like, I don't think it's that easy to bring that into Clipper. I don't even know if the libraries for it are public. So technically, yes, you could rip the electronics out of a Bambu, throw in a Manta or any other, you could throw a Duet in there, redo all the pins, because this thing uses all weird pins and stuff, and just set it up like a normal 3D printer. Nothing on a Bambu hardware-wise is anything special. That's one of the reasons I'm like trying to push this for Bambu. I'm like, Bambu, you guys really aren't doing anything special hardware-wise. And in case you haven't noticed, everyone else is starting to catch up. Everyone else is coming out with enclosed Core XYs with AMS systems. Yeah, they're a little janky right now, but like, it's the same thing you guys are doing. You have a little bit more QC and better default profiles. and a better user experience. They're going to catch up. You're not doing anything special hardware-wise. Again, you copied Voron, and now everyone's copying you. If you build your empire on copying people, at some point you don't have anything to copy, and everyone's going to start copying you. That's another thing. We don't want people copying this kind of business practices. Because you know if Bambu gets away with putting a tiered freaking subscription to do whatever, Creality's going to do that shit. Because that's what Creality is right now. It's just copying Bambu. They moved from copying Prusa to copy Bambu. At least Creality has a bigger machine. Okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? Let's do this. I have nothing prepped for this. Big Tree Tech, ADXL router. There we go. GitHub. And company's copy of Bambu is Verona all the way down. It's, you know what it is? Ready? Ready? Behold, a Bambu. It's rep app all the way down. Sorry, don't build your empire on open source and then try to screw over open source. We're very vocal. Because it's the only tool we have. We can't afford lawyers. Yeah, CoreXY is older than Voron. Okay, user manual. So I have to home this. So let me plug it in. I have a USB cable here. Am I going to leak any data? No. Okay. Mobile. Woo. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. Okay. So I'm assuming I could plug this in first. Okay, so that's plugged in. Okay. So what do I do? What do I do? Bar pages. I should have done this. I'm assuming I got to run a command or something to get the firmware installed. Error. Camera move it away? Oh. Okay, so this is the printer. I did put a camera in it. Hi! So I do have a camera in it now. Whew, my hands are freezing. One second, let me just check. I think I missed some donations. Did I miss some donations? Cross 2010 gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. And Marcel gifted 10 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. Sorry, if I miss you and you donate, let me know. Because if I'm talking, sometimes I just start talking. So it's plugged in via USB. Okay. So we combine Clipper firmware. Do I have to flash this or is this already flashed? I mean, it'll tell me in a second here. SSH pi at burp burp. Quick, somebody tell me the command to find all this stuff. What is it? What is it? 1 second here. Clipper install. It's sad with Clipper because you just copy all the commands. I never remember any of the commands off by heart. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's already installed. Okay. We're good. It's already got Clipper installed. Sweet. Okay. So that compile, yeah, so we don't need that update via 2. Okay, so I shouldn't have to do this. It's already installed. Okay, enter Clipper, flash. Okay, configuring Clipper. Okay, download the config from there. Upload the configuration file. Oh shit. So this actually should be pretty easy. Okay. This actually shouldn't be too bad. This shouldn't be too bad. So, firmware. Oh, nope, firmware. So that. Copy all of this. Copy. So we got ADXL there. Boom, 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 boom. Did that copy it? Control C. I think it's the same, but I'm just gonna redo it just to make sure. Yep. Okay, that. We want this at 165. 165. Save. Close. printer.cfg, include ADXL, save and restart. Oop, MCU protocol, older version. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to do an update. Okay, okay, how do I update? Firmware update via DFU. Okay, so I'm gonna have to update this. It's gonna suck. Okay. So make resulting clipper will be in the clipper out holder that's computer by the SSH. Okay. Raspberry Pi, hold boot button and connect by type C. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. So CD clipper. Make menu config. I think it's just an RP2040. I should be able to flash it within the interface. I shouldn't have to plug it into the computer, I don't think. I should be able to do it over thing. Where is Raspberry? Am I blind? Am I? Oh, Raspberry. There it is. I'm just blind. Okay. RP2040. Yep. No bootloader. Flash chip is that. Communication is USB. I'm assuming just USB serial. Okay. That looks right. Okay. Q. Yes. Oh, load a configuration. Oh, froze. Arrow. Okay. Okay. Make. Okay. So update or CB1 update via DFU. Okay. Hold boot button and connect the board to Raspberry Pi via Type-C cable and enter DFU mode. Okay. So we'll let that do that. So I gotta hold the button while I plug it in. Okay, so unplug that and hold the button while I plug it in. Okay. And I type CD clipper. Okay, and then LS USB. Query the DFU mode. So RPI to boot. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. To AE. Okay, so what is it? 2EAA003. Oh, that works. Okay, cool. Boom. Boom. Cool. Okay. After flashing, type that. There we go. Here, machine, ADXL. Save and restart. Come on. Might have to reboot. Yeah, let me unplug it and plug it back in. Boop. And let me just do a reboot. Woo! It is cold. It is cold. What are we at? Ooh, we're at 14.5 degrees. Although it's, for those wondering why I'm wearing a freaking scarf and shit. It's just a little, just a wee bit nipply. If I need to cut any glass, we're good. Okay, so this is what's concerning me. We're not having... It's not talking. Did I screw something up here? It's not talking. Why is it not talking? Bad path. What do you mean bad? It's right here. Am I missing something here? I did flash it in DFU mode. It's right here. Why are we not? Oh wait, 1 second. Am I missing? Yeah, I'm missing this part. Missing that part. There we go. Save and restart. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't showing. I'm just so used to copying it, right? Dashboard. Yay, it's working. The previous accelerometer I was using wasn't working. The Provoke 3D ADXL that I've been using for years started just throwing random errors when I did the accelerometer query, and it would just stop working. Like it would, I could flash it, I could update the firmware, I tried resetting it, I tried different USB cables, it just stopped working. So I gotta home this. Hopefully I don't break anything. 1 second here. And then we gotta install this guy. Don't crash. Okay, we're good. So we got this guy. It comes with a nice little screw into the nozzle. If I can find an Allen key for this. And if I can find my freaking nozzle tool. I don't know where I put it. Where did I put my nozzle tool? Find it in a minute. Okay, so now I gotta drop this quite a bit. 1, 2, 6, 7. Okay, where did I put my nozzle tool? Did changing the orientation make any difference? It shouldn't. Like for the ADXL, it shouldn't matter. As long as it's like squared up. Did I ever insulate the ceiling? A little bit. The problem is, if you don't, for those that don't know, I'm in my garage. These walls are all insulated, and there's like a half wall here that's touching the house. So all the walls are insulated, but I still have a garage door. The garage door is insulated, but it only has that much insulation. The big problem is my ceiling. And the problem is they never insulated the ceiling. You never do it in a garage usually. So I tried twice. I tried again last summer, getting a company out here to blow blown-in insulation in the attic. Both times I got ghosted. They're like, how much room? I'm like, it's literally a garage. Come out here and just pop your head up and go and call it a day. It's like 300 square feet. And they're like, well, that's not worth it for us to come out. And I'm like, how much would it cost you to just come out and do it? And they're like, they gave me a number. And I'm like, cool. And they never showed up twice, 2 different companies. So I'm like, ugh. So I went and threw some bat insulation I had left over up there, but it's nowhere near enough. It's nowhere near enough. Okay, I'm out. Nozzle. There we go. Okay, get the nozzle out. Put you there. And then let's do this without accidentally shorting anything, hopefully. The problem is I have to like install this after. Oh, wait. Oh, dang it. I don't know if I can do this. The freaking beacon's in the way. The beacon's in the way. I can't get in there. The beacon's in the way. I'm gonna have to undo the beacon. But then if I undo the beacon, I can't. You know what? I'm just gonna screw it to the fan. Screw it. I'm just gonna screw it to the fan. I don't. Close enough. I much prefer attaching it to the nozzle, but I'm just going to attach it to the fan instead. There's not the, between the ducts, I can't get the freaking board in there. It won't. So, nope, that's too small. Right screw. The beacon hasn't, no, I have an older beacon on this one. This has the older beacon that doesn't have an ADXL. Believe me, I already tried. Yeah, this has the older beacon in it. Yeah, this has the older beacon, unfortunately. Yeah, that was like the first thing I tried. Okay. Really, that doesn't work either. Dang it. How am I going to attach this? What am I going to attach this to? I need to find like a little annoying here. Come on, guys. Come on. Are you screwing? Nope. Really? That ain't going to work. Okay. 1 second here. Shoot. That's M6, so I don't have a longer one. There's not as many screw points on this tool head as I thought there would be, unfortunately. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do it? Get a longer screw, I guess. Longer screw. No, because you're a different screw. Whatever, make it work. VHB to the rescue. I'll be honest, I've done it before and it works. So if I can't get this, we'll fiddle. If I can't get this in, we'll fiddle around. Nope, that ain't gonna work either. It's a longer screw. There we go. There we go. Okay. That actually might be a problem. Oh no, we'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good. Okay. Shaper. Calibrate. Yeah, we'll do it. There we go. They changed it. It moves a lot more than it used to. What? Oh, strange stuff. Just so you know, it's not a Kafia. This is a Shamog. Different. Yes, I know this is what they. This is close to what they wear, but this isn't a Kafia. This is a Shamog. I bought this on an army base like 15 years ago when I was in the army. It's close, but it's not the same thing. When did the input shaper shape change to this? When did they do the update to change to this? Because it used to do a lot smaller movement, and now it's doing this. When did Clipper do that? A few weeks ago? Okay, you can tell it's a bit since I've done it. I've done a read the change log. Ain't nobody read the change logs. Ain't nobody read the change logs. I mean, it probably doesn't help it's dragging the USB cable around, but I'm sure it's fine. About a month ago? Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it gives us a value that works, we're good. Change logs of physics. Yeah, you know, get a sudo update that shit, yo, and off it goes. That's ShakeTune. What is ShakeTune? Also, can somebody link me in the Discord the thing to sync up all-wheel drive motors? There's like a script for syncing the motors I need to do. If anyone knows where that script is, or like can link me to GitHub, can you do that? Because I've never done that and I need to do that on this guy. Patch notes. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I'll be honest, when it comes to like graphs, I never check the graphs. I just run shaper calibrate and send it. Whatever the value I get is the value I get, and I just leave it. Although I'll be honest, I probably should run. Shoot, I should probably run the calibrate and then input shape. I can't remember. You just post it on the GitHub? Okay. Okay, let me check the let me just check my socials and see what's going on. How's that coming? Wow. Oh, Discord's on this screen. I'm like, where's Discord? It's on the other monitor. Look at it do its thing. Look at it go. By the way, anyone down on the Gulf Coast? Apparently there's like a blizzard in Louisiana right now. Apparently there's like a blizzard in Louisiana. Snowing in Mobile, Alabama. 2 inches. Damn. I mean, I guess hell is freezing over. Yesterday was... I'm just going to say this. We thought the guy was the Henry Ford of his time. And it turns out he is a Henry Ford. I'm sorry that... Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. What's with foreigners coming to the U.S. and building rockets and having that a political affiliation? This is like now twice. Like twice. Where a guy from another country came to the U.S. and built a big F-off rocket and had that background. I'm not saying it's a pattern. Are we done? We're done. But once, but twice, but thrice. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. LeBron, yeah. At least he kind of had an excuse. Like, it is what it is, but like, fuck. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? We got shaper type Y, MZV. Ooh, I'll take it. And for X, what is it recommended for X? For X, ZV. I'll take it. Save config. Cool. Today is day 2 of my kids being off school for the... How cold is it where you're at, Luke? It's like, it was negative 18 Celsius here. And schools are open, but like no recess. So they just stay inside all day. So I'm surprised, like, you're in Minnesota. You guys are built for this shit. Yeah, so it was like 5 degrees colder than here, and they just straight up shut down the school. Is it... Oh, before wind chill. That'll do it. Wind chill will F you up. If you don't know what you're doing, like... Wind chill is mad. Like, it's insane. Where is it? Network, tower. I will say this. I will say this. I've been cold. I've been cold. I never want to be cold again. I've been cold. I've been cold. No, dog. No. Okay, let me unplug the ADXL here. So I don't think we need the ADXL anymore. So turn that off. That is February in the Arctic. Spent a week up there in 2014. Week up there doing fun stuff. Okay, what now? Drop to bed. Unplug. So now, on the bright side, I've got a new ADXL tool, so that's good. Yeah, it kind of sucks that I can't mount it to the nozzle on this guy, but it is what it is, unfortunately. And that screw's loose, so I'll just take it out. Good enough. And now I gotta slide this out. Heavy printer is heavy. Oop, a little too much. Too much. Too far. Downside of having everything. There. Okay. And now I reach back through the electronics bay, unplug the USB cable, and try not to touch any of the live wires. And we pull the USB cable out. And then we shove you back in your spot. There we go. Voila. And then I'm going to heat the nozzle up and tighten it. And then we're good. So yeah, so 2-minute review of the Big Tree Tech ADXL 345V 2.0.1. Nice little tool. If you don't have an input shaping tool, you should probably grab one. They're not that expensive. I paid the Amazon Canada tax on this and it was like 20 bucks. They're nice to have because you never know when you need one. And yes, while I understand most modern printer kits and whatnot have a an ADXL built on the tool head board, it works, but the most accurate auto tune you'll get is when the ADXL is on the nozzle. And this one allows you to screw it to the nozzle. So there's the next episode, installing USB keystones in front of the... That would actually be a smart idea to have, just like, especially on some of the bigger machines. What's the difference to a basic? Well, this has the brains in it. A while ago, I built... Where did I put it? I think I might have thrown it out because it was broken. I think I did throw it out, actually. Where did I put it? Let's try it the other day and it wasn't working, so I think I might have thrown it out. Yeah, might have thrown it out. I used to have a tool that I made a video on it where it's literally just the ADXL accelerometer attached to a Raspberry Pi Pico or whatever it is. This, if you don't know what this is it all in one. So this has a Raspberry Pi built into it. So it's got the RP2040 built in focus. Focus, there you go. This has the RP2040 built into it and the accelerometer and 2 M3 mounting points and this one here where you can screw it to the nozzle. So you can just screw this right to the nozzle itself and then you do your tune. It's USB-C. So this is a nice little complete package if you're trying to do, if you have a machine that like this where it doesn't have a tool head board, or you want to get a more accurate input shape auto tune. You want to use the tool. New overhead. That's also why we're in the garage. Because if I hadn't moved the basement camera to the garage to get the new overhead camera that actually works, we would be downstairs right now because it ain't freaking cold downstairs. Does it fit Revo nozzles? Yeah. How you attach these to your nozzle? You literally, you literally just I accidentally turned the monitor off, so my screen's moving. Yeah, You just screw it up like that. It just screws right through with the nozzle. It comes with little washers to make sure you don't, has these little nice neoprene washers too. But yeah, it's a nice little tool. Just don't heat the nozzle up while it's connected. It's like anyone who works in tool and mold or anyone who works in the trade with CNC machines or like manual machines. You know how you never put your edge finder in or your inner rapid in and then turn the spindle on. Edge finder is fine. You can turn an edge finder. You can turn the spindle on when you have an edge finder in, but you got your inner rapid or your dial indicator. Don't turn the spindle on. So when you're doing input shaping, don't turn the nozzle on. You're gonna have a bad time. I'm in a good mood now. We got that machine back online fully. I need to load some filament in it. We're gonna print something big, but first I want to do that auto tune thing. Motor sync, is this it? Let me see here. I got multiple DMs at the same time. Okay, I think that's it. Okay. Welcome to this. Cool, how does it work? Cool, just tell me what script to run. Okay. Oh, do I need an accelerometer for this? Do I need to have the accelerometer on for this? Oh, shoot. Oh, never mind. We're not doing it. I already took the accelerometer off. Oh, whatever. I'm not too concerned. We do need to do a PID, though. Or, correction, the thing. I'll do it later. Let's do some printing. Let's get this baby loaded up. I haven't printed on this machine in a while. So, on this machine, I feed it from one of these guys, the Cocoon. I need some filament to load in it. What am I going to load in it? Do I have any black ABS out here? Prusa gave me a shit ton of filament, but it's all PETG and ABS or PLA. What are you? What are you? Are you Polymaker green ABS? That'll work. How much more precise is it compared to the EBB 36? Technically, it's as precise. It's just where the measurement is being located at. It's where it's reading from. So if you think about it, you want to be tuning based on the accelerometer where the nozzle is, because the nozzle is what's laying down the plastic. So the closer you can get the accelerometer to the nozzle itself, to the actual thing that is laying down the filament that shows the defects that input shaping fixes, the more accurate it will be. Now, if you have it on the tool head, on a tool head board on like a Voron, it's like, you know, here's the extruder and it's mounted on the side of the extruder, and then the nozzle's like down here. So if you have a rigid enough system, it's not that bad. You need to remember, running the accelerometer here is better than no accelerometer. Okay? So pretty much any input shaping tune is going to be better than no input shaping tune. But the closer you get that accelerometer to the nozzle and the more rigid your system is, the better the result will be. I'll be honest, on the majority of my machines, I just run the shaper calibrate with the built-in accelerometer on the tool head and send it and move on with my life. I'm not one of those constantly tweaking type people. I know my machines can print better than they do, but they print good enough for what I use them for, and I have all kinds of different machines in different specs and configurations with different levels of firmware, and I'm too lazy to keep all that shit in line. I'll let Steve do the however long his stream was on Sunday where he just updates firmware. I don't do that. When the printer gets rebuilt, it gets new firmware, and then after that, it's got what it's got. So this is the Physec filament. It's not a dryer, it's just a thing. The problem with these ones is getting the filament started. You have to like load it from the outside and then kind of squish it in there. And it's like, okay. There we go. Also, this is the problem with doing all the cosplay stuff in here and prep work. Like, It's a little dirty. Little dirty. Okay, so let's get you hot again. Because we got to do a pressure advance tune on this guy. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, every stream we do give away a spool of POLYMAKER filament. So enter for your chance. Yeah, I got to clean up over here. There's a bunch of garbage on the floor. Okay, so you go through here. Boop. Ba, 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 ba. 7/18/53. What does that mean? 7/18/53. What does that mean? What does that mean? Will a printer air out in the cold? They all did it last night. I fixed them all though. In Clipper, you just go into your printer.cfg and in the extruder section and the bed section, there's like a min and max temp. So if it goes outside of those temps, it'll air out. Most printers, I believe the stock for a lot of machines is like 10 degrees Celsius. I dropped mine to like 2 degrees Celsius. I don't like setting it for 1 or 0. So some of them I think are at 3 actually, but essentially it was 8. I had machines at 8 Celsius, so. Just a little chilly. Just a little chilly. Oh wow, that filament's brittle. 1 second, I gotta run some of this through. I don't know how old this stuff is. Come on. There we go. There we go. Extrude. There we go. There we go. Okay. Turn that off. And now we open up Orca. Chamber temp 2, yeah. That up. Steve's stream was 7 hours. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's a bit much. I'm okay not doing a 7-hour stream. Okay. Prepare. Calibration. Pressure advance. So we want, it's a direct drive. I want the lines. Okay. Standard VZ bot with generic ABS, that works. Okay. Export G code. Save. I haven't set it up yet with the print. Pressure advance. There we go. Let that do that. Because of near mobile, getting snow right now, 2 inches. Did anyone check on Texas? Do they still got power in Texas? Do they still have power in Texas? I know that shit goes down. I was going to do a mom joke, but instead I got screws everywhere. I got screwed for wanting to do a mom joke. Really? 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 I ain't sorting these. I ain't sorting these. These are going in the bin. It's there. Organized. Good enough. They're organized in the one bin. Gonna make a mom joke. Like, oh, it was done more than your mom. Nope. My hubris. Time to print the screw sorter. What time is it anyways? 12:45, okay. And then, oh, by the way, I know we went through I fixed it. I had unfortunately part of the SLS print for the takeoff. These are so light. Broke in shipping. So I just kind of bodged it back together with some JB Weld. Focus. Focus, there we go. So I bodged it back together with some JB Weld. Because that broke off, unfortunately. And now, I ain't going anywhere. So we go out of the bin. So how it's gonna work, I think Friday's stream, we're gonna fiddle with this guy and we'll start working on the takeoff tool head for it. And then the Saturday night stream, we're gonna do wiring on the V2. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do wiring on the V2 on Saturday, and the Friday stream is gonna be that guy and that. We'll see how far we go. I know I gotta find a 24 volt heater. I know I have one somewhere downstairs. I just gotta find some. Posted a vid of snow in Galveston in the Discord. Really? Let's take a looky-loo. Let's take a looky-loo. What channel? IRL? Nope, that's something about monkeys. General chat? Old man yells at cloud. And did you post it in the yacht club? Oh, I don't know where you posted it at. Okay. Oh, hey, it's moving. I have no idea how bad that is. Live stream chat. Okay, let's take a look. This is Galveston, Texas. Oh, jeez. I mean, this is normal for me, but for a Texan, it's like, you guys don't have any of the facilities for this. So many people down there don't even have heating in their house, right? It's like, in the southern US, having heating in your house, like central heating, is not a thing, right? Like up here, all our houses have central AC and heating because you kind of have to. Because the problem where I'm at, like summers is like 30 plus degrees Celsius. In the winter, it's like negative 20 Celsius right now. So we kind of have to be set up for both, like really hot and really cold. Well, the problem is too, a lot of people don't have most people don't have winter tires. There's no resources to clean the roads either. Like that's the big thing, is a lot of people, like a lot of down south, you don't have snow plows and salters or gritters. Like where I'm at, we salt the roads. That's why our cars rust apart in like 8 years, because they salt the crap out of the roads where I'm at. But if you go further north, it gets so cold they can't salt the roads, so they grit them, where you basically just put sand down. I gotta adjust my starting macro, I think, a bit. But should be okay. Yep, our house is mega insulated. I know, we have like R70 in my ceiling in the house. Although my furnace is starting to go. It works, but the fan barely blows anymore. It's like, the furnace is as old as the house, and the house was built in like 2000. It's not 2000. So I know we got to replace it. We did a new AC unit a couple years ago. We were hoping to get a couple more years out of the furnace. But I think it's finally at its end, which kind of sucks. But it do be what it is. It do be what it is. We're hoping to get another year out of it because we got the mortgage paid off by the end of next year, hopefully. Could just replace the blower. The problem is the furnace itself is 25 years old. So we got all new AC. So like the AC condenser and all that stuff's new. It's just the furnace is 25 years old and the blower is part of the furnace. So. It's not the greatest camera angle. It is literally in line with the bed, but it's enough to let me know if I'm making spaghetti. It was like literally just a random webcam I had. It's not wide angle. I need to get a proper wide angle camera. But it's just a random, like one of the shitty little webcams I had that I threw in there. So what happens when someone is going to come out with new open source mainboard for the Bambu? I mean, let's be honest. All a company like Big Tree Tech has to do to make a drop-in mainboard for the Bambu is basically do what like they all do for the Creality machines. Just all they need is a normal clipper board. Just change the layout so it mounts in the same spot as the current board, and change the connectors to take the Bambu connectors, because Bambu uses like microfit connectors. They don't use JSTs. They use a different connector. So all you would have to do is just make a board that drops in the same spot and takes all the connectors, and just have a clipper config. It actually is not that hard if you know what you're doing. The problem is, I don't think the way they do the beds with the load cell is a little funky, I believe. And also the laser. The not LiDAR, I don't think would work with Clipper without like a lot of work. But I was thinking earlier this year, they have a drop-in replacement for the Ender 3. Yeah, I honestly, I foresee it being a thing with like, because the problem with the Bambu ecosystem, it is extremely proprietary. Yes, it is. I give Bambu credit for having pretty much all the parts you need to replace damaged parts on the printer in stock on their website. But how long is that a guarantee for? So say 5 years from now, your P1S controller board fails and Bambu doesn't have the boards on the store anymore. What do you do then? It would be nice if there was an alternative. Because the thing is, like, it is surprisingly hard to kill a stepper motor or a bearing. Like, bearings can die at any point. But, like, if that machine sits there for 5 years, it's still as good as it is today. It's just 5 years old. But if a controller dies, well, then the whole thing's dead. But I could just put in a new controller and it'll work just as good. Like, so. So, let's see. I'm just waiting for Bambu to put a reply to their reply out. That's the thing. I know some people that want to do videos on the whole Bambu thing, but they're not, because they know this is kind of Bambu's pattern. Well, they'll put out a press release saying they're changing stuff. They'll get pushback, and then they'll put out another press release that like retracts one little thing, but leaves everything else. And then everyone's like, oh, it's all done. And it's like, not really. Like, their newest blog post didn't change anything. Exactly all the stuff we were complaining about before is still present and happening. The only difference is now there's an optional LAN mode that still restricts a bunch of stuff. So, oh, yeah, I referenced Lewis's reply. Go watch it if you can. I didn't play it on stream. I don't know Lewis's feelings on people reacting to his content live, and he swears quite a bit. I personally don't have a problem with it, but yeah. Okay, that's done. I got to figure out what's going on with this, because I don't know why it's trying to do this snapshot shit at the end. I don't know where this is coming from. Time-lapse render, because I don't have it set up for time-lapse anywhere. Like, stop. Like, I don't have a print stop macro, I think. Maybe. And stop pin. But I don't do time lapses. I don't bother with time lapses on my printers. There's include start stop. Okay, start stop. Where is? Oh. Print start, print end. There's no time lapse stuff. So why is it? Where's? Is it in Orca? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. There we go. There we go. I'm like, I looked at it before, and I'm like, I was like, I don't see it. But it's like, no, you have to like, you have to click on it, then you can scroll up and down. Okay, there we go. Disable motors. Okay, so where are we moving to? Let me fix this freaking end stop position because it's in a stupid spot. G1, that, okay. Lift nozzle. Off bed. Move to back. Okay, that's not the back. but I will leave it. I really don't care. Okay. Cool. Okay. Are you done? Thank you. Yeah, because now I gotta wait for it to like render a time lapse. Which, is it rendering a time lapse? I don't think so. Stop, pause. Watch, ready? There we go. Hey, the print ended. Is there, we don't know anything about Bambu's new printer. It was supposed to come out last year. That's all we know. Also, don't forget, they're still getting sued by Stratasys. That's still ongoing. And they're still allowing copyright and license violating models on MakerWorld. So even if they clear up the stuff with their API, we should all still be giving them shit for like letting other content creators' work be uploaded to their site for profit. So at the end of the day, they're still doing shitty business practices, not even talking about the printer API. Okay, what should I print on here that's relatively big to kind of try make sure everything's working? What number should I go with, guys? Hit print screen and tell me. I'm thinking 0.36, 0.36. Actually, like 0.32 looks pretty good. Actually, yeah, 0.36, actually 0.35, I'm saying, 0.35. Actually, or 0.04. No, 0.35. Trying to hit in the right light. I'm looking for the line that is the most consistent. And it's 0.36. Machine. Point. Is there not in here? Oh, there we go. 0.036. There we go. Yeah, it's 0.036, sorry. Okay, I need to print something on here. Let me throw this in the freezer. The nice advantage of this being in my garage, I can just throw shit in the freezer to cool it. Let that sit for a minute there. The chevron test. I want to print something big, but I don't know what. What's currently popular? What's currently a popular, somewhat big? The new Skoda. If only it was the new Dacia Sandero. Be more interested. Okay. No, we're not doing a Bodhi. What is cool? I want something kind of big. Let's see. What do we got for helmets? What do we got for helmet? Helmet. Most popular. Helldiver helmet. That's a pretty cool one. T51. T60. See, nobody likes the T. Where's the T45 at? T45 is the best one, I believe. This one's too busy. This helmet's too busy. T45 is where it's at. The T51, I understand. It's people got some nostalgia for the T45 or the T51. Pull up. Let's see. What do we got here? Like, I know people have nostalgia for this one, but like, I mean, tell me that doesn't look sexy. What am I gonna print? What am I gonna print? Do a fat man? Do a fat man. That's not large. 200%. There we go. That's large. And I can delete the PA test in there. Okay. So what do we got here? What do we got here? We got 3 walls. We'll do 5 top, 5 bottom, and 15% feels fine. Oh, before I print, let me put the bed back on. And then once we get this going, I'll probably call it. I'll be honest, I'm getting pretty cold out here, and the wifey's heading to work in a bit. I want to say goodbye. Yep. That's that. Oh, we don't want a brim. Tier or support. Brim. Other. Skirt type. No brim. I do like having a brim though, or a skirt, just to get the filament flowing. 2 for 3 layers. It gives you time. I like having a skirt. 2 reasons. 1, it gives you time to ensure that your first layer is good, just in case. And 2, it's make sure the filament's flowing. So you kind of want it, especially, yeah, Luke's saying it there. With longer nozzles, you kind of want it. Ooh, wow, I'm going to need support on that. 1 second. I got to put support on that. I don't think anything else needs support. Nothing else should need support, I don't think. That, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, we're going to need support. Okay, you know what I'll do? Support, enable, tree auto, organic. Let's see what we get. Accidentally slice something and your bed's not on, right? Scarf seam. Do they have scarf schemes in? Where's scarf? There we go. Where is scarf seam? Contour? Do I want contour or contour and holes? We'll do both. Conditional scarf joint. Conditional scarf joint. We'll do that, sure. Yeah, sure, why not? I haven't really played around with scarf seams that much, to be honest. There we go. There we go. That print going. Okay, we're gonna do the giveaway in we'll do it at 1:10. At 1:10, we're gonna do the giveaway and then we're gonna call it. Let me just make sure my wife's awake. I'm back. Okay. Skirts are good because you get your first layer measurement. Yeah, it's just a good way. It gives you enough chance. One, make sure the filament's flowing right, your nozzle's primed correctly, And I like doing it because I don't like purging between filaments. I'm very lazy a lot of the time when it comes to swapping filaments. What I will do is just heat up the nozzle, pull out the old filament, and depending on the tool head, a lot of times I'll just unlock the extruder, shove new filament in until it like it's there, and then I leave it. I don't bother like purging out the old filament, especially with Revo nozzles. If you end your print with a Revo nozzle with like a 5mm retract, a lot of time you don't even need to heat the nozzle up to pull the old filament out. The downside is you need to get it flowing before you start the print. Otherwise you under extrude for the first little bit. So having a skirt basically allows you to prime your nozzle. How many of those 700 entered the giveaway? I don't know. How many people we still got here? 561, damn. 358. We're at 358 people have entered. Don't forget, every stream we give away a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. We're gonna be doing the giveaway in like 4 minutes, so enter for your chance. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, buying something with the affiliate link, get some gamer subs, use code Canuck, save 10% on your order, or just, if you're really cool, gift memberships to others. That's the totally rad thing to do. Look at it go. It's going. I did actually insulate this printer a bit too. I put some the Reflectex stuff on the walls. I do have to put lights in there though still. Yeah, you found PA66 glass fiber trimmer light. Really? How do you pronounce it? Kidjarn? Kidjarn? Gifted a community membership. Cheers and appreciate it. Thank you. How do you join the giveaway? Link in the video description. Link in the video description. Easy peasy. Okay, let's see. What's going on with the social medias? Let's see. Is anyone yapping about anything?
This is our first flight.
This was New Glenn. It launched a little while ago, but yes, we know the launch was really cool and it looked really nice, but show us what happened to the second or the first stage on landing. Like what is this? What are these engineering cameras? Where's, like, show us. You got to give credit to SpaceX. They know how to show off a rocket launch. Oh. Uh-oh. Move out of range. Okay. Move out of range. What's going on here? Machine. CFG. Y max 305. Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. The machine technically has 330 of Y, but I can't actually use it all because it has CPAP. And the way the CPAP works, it comes in the back. And so there's a CPAP tube coming in and up, and then the CPAP tube on the tool head that takes up some of that in the back. So it technically does have 330 by 330 of XY, but only like 305 of the Y is usable in the middle. So I just chop it there. Why? Because it works and I'm lazy. There we go. Save. Let's replace. Okay, let's do this again. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where is... Oh, I don't want to reprint job. Where's my upload and print button? Where's my upload and print button? Upload and print, G-code viewer, G-code file. What's going on here? Upload? Man? Come on. Come on. Okay, is this the new one? I think this is the new one, 110. Yep, cool. Print start. There we go. Okay. Giveaway time. Giveaway time. Oop. This must be. Okay. Giveaway time. Giveaway time. Giveaway time. Link to sheets. Published. No responses. Oops, somebody super chat. 1 second. 1 second. Link to chat. Create. Okay. Copy those names. Put that there. Names. Okay. Delete. Paste those names. File. Save. Okay. Just make sure the print's starting. What are you? Nope. What is going on here? 1 second. I'm just gonna hit that button. Steven, gifted $9.99. Cheers and appreciated. You were killing it on X last night. What was I doing on Twitter last night? I refuse to call it X. I'm sorry. Do dead names as kids. I'm gonna dead name his platform. It's Twitter. I'm sorry. You call it the community, not the site name. I've only had success with POLYMAKER. I will say, I do like POLYMAKER filament. One thing I wish they did, nobody's perfect. I wish they broke down their not pure filaments. I wish they told us what within them. I wish they put it on the label. Like their Polylite ABS is a blend. I wish I knew what else was in the blend. That's kind of like the only real thing I have against them. But the best thing is there's so many good filaments nowadays. There's so many good filaments nowadays. Oh, there's an update for marbles. We gotta wait. Okay, now it's heating up. Now we're going. Twitter and tweets. You got to think about, like, just think about it this way. From a marketing perspective, the gold mine that was the Twitter brand, tweets, the bird, in terms of marketing, that shit was gold. Everyone knew what that was. And now it's X. If I didn't know any better, I thought it was a porn site. Like, I know he's obsessed with the letter X, but like in terms of branding, it's horrible. Okay, let's do a race. Add names, clear, open names. So we got 394 people. We had like 700 people here earlier. Let's go with the green one. Green for Bambu. 394. Play. Move to Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky too. It's a nice site. The only thing with Blue Sky, you can't doom scroll as much as Twitter, just because it's a smaller community. So I like Blue Sky for the 3D printing community. Twitter, unfortunately, still has the advantage in terms of just like everyone is on it. Although I'll be honest, like the majority of my interactions on there, I don't bother with because I think they're bots. Okay, so how this works, if I pick your name, you also get a free hat along with your spool of filament. Anyone else who wins just gets the spool of filament. So good luck to this person right here, this person. Ron, shoot. If you win, you also get a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Or correction, you also get a hat along with your spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Red Note, I don't do short form content, so I've never done TikTok or Red Note or shorts or any of that. I put the odd short out, but I don't like that kind of content. Give me an 18-hour breakdown of how the bushes in frickin' Mario Kart are programmed in any day over a short. Add a bunch of NAFO starter packs. Ooh, that's a good idea. This is a short one today, which is good because I gotta wash them. I got my Bambu X1C. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, if all you care about is just making plastic parts, put that shit in land mode and move on with your life. Like, it's not... You're gonna have a good time with the printer, okay? The whole point of making the kerfuffle about all this is to try and prevent a potential very anti-consumer business practice from taking place. We want everything to be as open and friendly as possible, and they're setting themselves up for a tiered garden ecosystem, and we don't like that. Also, they're taking advantage of open source, which we don't like either. Sean Apti. Congratulations, Sean. You have won yourself a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament. Yeah. So Sean Apti. Pull your name up here. Oh, nope. Oh, I just Control F Sean. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna call it there. We will have I don't know if I'll do. I think I'm gonna move videos to Sunday. We'll see. I want the next video will probably be a Fallout cosplay video. I gotta do the boots. I gotta do the boots on a video. How's that printing? Oh, that's printing fine. Okay, so we're gonna call it there. Because I need to eat some lunch because I'm starving, and then I gotta go pick up the little guy from school. So shout out to POLYMAKER for the spool of filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Links for all of them and more in the video description. On Friday, we will be working on the Seabor all-wheel drive Trident, and we're gonna be getting the Luke's Lab takeoff tool head installed with a CHUBE and a Jupiter board. I don't know if we'll get it all done on Friday, but we're gonna start Saturday on the stream. We're gonna work on wiring the Gloop V2. So we're gonna call it there. Enjoy the rest of your week. Oh, wait, no. Oh, for those that donated to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. Not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. For everyone else, enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe out there, wash your hands, stay warm, and I will see you on Friday. Goodbye!